Alright, how's it going, everybody? I'm here to bring you what I said I promised like a few days ago, and just barely now getting to. I know, right? Yeah. So there was no episode today for the One Piece anime, so instead I'm kind of doing this to fill the void, if you will. We had episode 1144 and 1145 last week and the week prior. That was basically just the introduction officially in the anime of the Gorosei finally making their appearance in their yokai forms. I'm calling it that. Some other people saying similar, because they're not devil fruits. If you notice, when they get introduced, they just have the name of the creature they are based off of. You know, like Saturn is based off the Yuki, Jupiter is based off a sandworm, and so on and so forth. So I can't necessarily say that they're any specific devil fruit. I know that some people on Facebook and TikTok and stuff are kind of just spouting that false information out about, but no, it's not confirmed that they are devil fruits at all, and it seems like there's something entirely different, because as we've seen with Elbath, when they introduced the God's Knights and their abilities, and even Shamrock and his sword that turned into Cerberus fruit, it says it right there, you know, Cerberus fruit, or the arrow fruit for Gunko, and then the thorn fruit for Summers. So no, I don't think these things are devil fruits. They're something completely different, obviously tied into Emu, which is its own fucking thing, especially if you're caught up in the in the manga, and you've seen that Emu has the ability to possess Gunko and simply Domi reverse giants into like demonic versions of them, right? And they become even bigger and taller than they were prior. So that just kind of tells me the abilities Emu has are not devil related, are not devil fruit related. They are definitely some kind of demonic pact, some shit like that. But yeah, it's something else entirely. But we got a few clips we will get to. Yeah, make sure these clips are on right. So the first one that we were going to get to, and we're going to have to definitely edit some of this shit, because I believe Toei will definitely fucking copyright this shit. But if we work within the 30-second parameters, we should be able to get through this. Mind you, no sound. I don't need to fuck with that. But yeah, if that doesn't work, we're just going to use still images of the said scenes. Let's get into the first fucking one. So again, 30-second intervals, right? We get to see them introduce Valkyrie, Jupiter, which, I mean, a lot of people have said it looks like a giant penis. Venus Juro, probably the most badass one. Whatchamacallit? Mars, he's like a fucking giant ho big bird looking motherfucker. Honestly, the most intimidating one is Venus Juro, because just look at that motherfucker. Oof. See, like, you see it right there. Sandworm. It's over here doing the fucking Michael Jackson tilt. Disgusting. Penis boy. Venus Juro. The Bakotsu. I'm gonna say that. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not Japanese. Forgive me. The Fengxi. It's basically a fucking boar, but a sickly green looking one, but that's for sure. The Itsumade, this fucking ugly thing. And again, Yuki, which, you know, he's probably the most lame one of them all. Like, bro, that is insane, the amount of size these guys got. And if anybody doubted Luffy's toon powers, which plenty of people are still in denial that he has them, we get to see much more of that showcased in this fight with the Gorosei. I don't mind it. I think it's great. You know, you have a lot of serious characters. You know, Naruto, fucking Ichigo. What's the other guy's name? I was gonna say Sukuna, but it's not Sukuna. What's the guy's name, babe? Is it Itadori? I can't remember, but from Jujutsu Kaisen. I think Itadori is from Demon Slayer. But anyways, you know, they all got their serious final forms and shit like that. And then here you have Luffy, who's just like complete fucking jokester. Smiles throughout most of it. Obviously, you would hope you take some of it seriously, but at the same time, that's just part of Nika. Look at that shit. Oof. Can't tell me that ain't badass. Fucking hell. Again, pausing for commentary. Excuse me. The other good thing about this whole fight that we finally get to see animated is some drawn out scenes that we didn't necessarily get in the manga. One that I will get to that is specifically mentioned by Warcury. That kind of has a lot of people being like, okay, I think this is what they were hinting at for a later form of Luffy, right? Because we saw how he fought against the Gorosei and in Gear 5th, right? Gear 5th was strong enough to take out the strongest beast, Kaido. But compared to the Gorosei, which nobody even knew their strength on the scale of the entire world, Gear 5th is not strong enough. Now, it can hold strong on some fronts, right? It could definitely beat and fight Saint Saturn and the Sandworm guy, but enemies like Warcury, Venus Juro, nah, they can't do shit. And as we see here, right, obviously even this is quite a bit, even for fucking Luffy, right? Highest authorities of the world government. These ugly motherfuckers. Yep, Toei, for your contributions. The other one, this was a nice fucking scene. This really gets to show his fucking toon powers. He's fucking ugly though. Pew. Yeah, I have to. Makes it much better. See right there, he's going yum, 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 yum. He's chewing the piece of wood. Also, that tree. Anyways, this tree was also fucking a hologram. So somehow this dude was able to tangibly grab a fucking hologram tree. I think it was a fake tree. If it was a real tree, then I mean, still pretty crazy. But you know, he fucking chews this tree up. Then out of his fucking little clouds around his neck, fucking gold paint just appears out of fucking thin air, right? And a paintbrush too. Like, where the fuck did you get this shit? Paints that bat. People were thinking it was hockey. It's not hockey, but it's still something just as strong, because obviously it's able to tank a fucking hit. And then bro also just pulls out a fucking baseball helmet out of nowhere. Like, yo, if they're not using this fucking animation for like some of these baseball games, you know, you're doing it wrong. And that's some good promotion right there. But yeah, you see him, he's charging up his attack, he sees that shit coming, and he's able to actually fucking hit that shit. Now, the reason that's a little bit more surprising is, you know, he affects the world around him in ways he never even knew possible. Because as he's there, you know, like, oh, I'm going to throw the poison balls back at you. And what it turns out to be is fucking explosives. And even they're just like, what the fuck? Like, Luffy didn't expect that shit to explode and somehow just wills it to be. That's how strong his imagination is. Here was the other one. I think this was, yeah, this was before that. this was the other part that I thought was fucking crazy. His fucking toon powers make him fucking, his scar, his eyeballs, his fucking sandals and head, everything else just fucking fly off his body. You obviously have the old men, which is just old giants. You know, catch this, bro, please. I need that shit. His fucking scars, dude. His fucking scars fell off his body. He just pops that shit back on like, oh yeah, there we go. Now I can see. That's better. Like, what the fuck? I think that's the rest of it. Yeah, we don't get to see him actually tank a hit. Oh, wait. Right here. This is where we get to see fucking Workery say what he's going to say. Uh-huh. Oh, we don't get to see it. Whatever. But right there, this is the part of the scene where he fucking mentions that, you know, I can't let you get to your original form. I'll have to chop you up, you know, this and that. That only seems to be the case that Luffy's form that he's in right now, even though it is and representative of Sun God Nika, it is not the final form that we are going to get to see of him. And I think a lot of people kind of expected that too. I mean, as it is, fourth gear has two forms, right? Well, actually three if you count fucking Tank Man. But you got Bound Man, which is basically the big old fucking muscular one. Snake Man, which is the more slender, faster one of that gear. Then you have Tank Man, like I said before, which is, if he's able to consume so much fucking food, he turns into a big old fucking ball of brick. Yeah, well, that makes sense to me. But so there could definitely be more than one form for Gear 5th, and this could be the elevation to it, or it could be Gear 6. Who knows, right? Or so some people were saying Gear Dawn, which I think sounds fucking retarded. Not as cool of a name, not as catchy, right, as Gear 6. I mean, fuck it, just skip to Gear 10. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's a bit too much, but what was the other thing here? Oh yeah, and then we get to see some of fucking Dory and Broggy actually do some badass shit here, where they fucking came up, sliced this motherfucker in half. They're able to fucking throw Saturn and Workery and just slice fucking Jupiter and fucking head off and shit. Yeah, bro, this shit's wild. That's pretty much all the scenes I can pull up without it getting too much copyrighted. I don't need to get in fucking trouble here. We'll see if it passes. If not, you will see screenshots. I really hope I don't have to play screenshots, though. Partially because that's more work for me. But, whatever. With that being said, let me know if you enjoyed those 2 episodes. And if you're definitely looking forward to what goes on next. Because within the next 5 minutes in universe, Vegapunk will finally be able to tell the world what a lot of manga readers have known for a while, and kind of where I got my jumping off point for the manga and made the channel. Well, not made the channel, but I made videos covering One Piece at that point. Was basically Vegapunk's message, right? Yeah, that part really gets interesting. I want to see how they animated people's reactions, what more context could be given, especially with the little time they had to do it in the manga, and then stretching that out and giving more direction, I guess you could say, in the scenes. So obviously some people were cameoed in that, and you got to see places and people that you haven't seen in fucking years for us, but in the manga, you know, it's just been months. Shit like that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, pretty good episode. I liked it. Hopefully you did too. Other than that, I should think I'll be signing out. Have a good night, good evening, good morning. Bye.